Husband made fun of me working, but now I get rich and he demands his share. Oh boy, I rip him new one. My husband laughed until his face turned red when I told him I was starting a business. You a CEO, he'd sneered, sprawled on our sagging couch, beer in hand, as if my dreams were a punchline to his favorite joke. Now, standing in my penthouse office, with his desperate texts begging for a cut of my millions, I'm the one laughing, and it feels damn good. 5 years ago, I was Emily Carter, the wife who didn't need to work because Mark, my husband of a decade, thought his middle management job was enough to keep us afloat. He'd come home from his 9 to 5, toss his tie on the floor, and lecture me about how my little hobbies were a waste of time. My Etsy shop selling handmade candles. Cute, but pointless, he'd say, rolling his eyes. My late-night brainstorming sessions for a startup delusional, he called it, mocking me in front of his buddies at barbecues. I'd bite my tongue, my cheeks burning, because I loved him, or at least, I loved the man I thought he was. But every snide comment chipped away at that love, leaving cracks I didn't notice until they became canyons. I started my company, Luminary Labs, in our cramped garage, pouring my savings money I'd scraped together from selling candles into product development. I was creating eco-friendly lighting solutions, a passion born from years of watching my rural hometown struggle with power outages. Mark didn't care about the why. He'd walk past my makeshift workbench, littered with prototypes, and mutter, "When are you going to give this up and cook dinner?" I'd lie awake at night, his words echoing, doubting myself. But I kept going, fueled by a stubborn spark he couldn't extinguish. The first year was brutal. I worked 18-hour days, teaching myself coding, pitching to investors who barely glanced at my slides, and crying in the bathroom when another no came through. Mark didn't lift a finger. He'd complain about the grocery budget, ignoring that I was eating instant noodles to fund my dream. When I landed my first investor, a small firm that believed in my vision, he didn't even congratulate me. "Don't get your hopes up," he said, flipping through TV channels. "You'll crash and burn." I swallowed the hurt, channeling it into my work. By year 3, Luminary Labs was no longer a hobby. My solar-powered, affordable lighting systems were in 10,000 homes across 3 states. I hired a team, moved into a proper office, and started turning a profit. Mark's reaction? He demanded I buy him a new truck. "You're making money now." "Don't be selfish," he said, as if my success was his personal ATM. I bought the truck, hoping it'd make him see me differently. It didn't. He still mocked my workaholic phase, oblivious to the empire I was building. Last year, everything changed. Luminary Labs went public, and my net worth skyrocketed to $50 million overnight. Suddenly, I was on magazine covers, shaking hands with CEOs who once ignored me, and speaking at conferences worldwide. The girl Mark called delusional was now a Forbes 30 under 30, and Mark quit his job, claiming he was stressed, and started living off my credit card. He'd show up at my office unannounced, grinning like he owned the place, asking for loans to fund his golf trips. I was too busy to fight, so I let it slide until he crossed the line. 6 months ago, he sat me down and demanded half of everything. "We're married, Emily," he said, his voice dripping with entitlement. "What's yours is mine. I supported you all those years. Didn't I supported me?" The audacity made my blood boil. I remembered every late night I spent alone, every insult he hurled, every time he made me feel small. I looked at him, his smug face expecting a payout, and something snapped. "Supported me," I said, my voice low but sharp enough to cut glass. "You ridiculed me. Mark, you called my dreams a joke. You don't get to claim my success now." His jaw dropped, but I wasn't done. "You want half, fine. Let's talk about the half where you laughed at my Etsy shop, or the half where you told me I'd fail. Pick one, because that's all you're getting." He stammered, trying to backtrack. "But I was a freight train. You didn't believe in me when I had nothing. You don't get to ride my coattails now that I have everything." I pulled out the divorce papers I'd had drafted weeks ago, and slid them across the table. His eyes widened, panic replacing his bravado. "Emily, come on, we're a team," he pleaded. A team. The word felt like a slap. I'd been a team of one, fighting for my dreams while he sat on the sidelines, heckling. The divorce wasn't just about money. It was about reclaiming my worth. I'd spent years shrinking to fit Mark's ego, letting his doubts seep into my bones. But building Luminary Labs taught me who I was, a woman who could turn a spark into a blaze, who could fail 100 times and still rise. I didn't need his approval then, and I sure as hell didn't need it now. Mark fought dirty in court, claiming he'd been my emotional support and deserved a share of my wealth. The judge, a woman with steel in her eyes, wasn't buying it. When my lawyer presented text messages, years of Mark's snide remarks about my work, the courtroom went silent. "You're not entitled to her success, Mr. Carter," the judge said, her voice like a gavel. I walked out of that courtroom lighter, freer, and richer in every sense. Today, I run Luminary Labs from a penthouse office with a view that stretches to the horizon. My company's lights now brighten homes in 20 countries, and I'm launching a foundation to support women entrepreneurs. Mark, he's back in his mom's basement, posting bitter rants online about ungrateful women. I don't wish him ill, I just don't wish him anything at all. Looking back, I see the irony. Mark thought my dreams were laughable, but they're what carried me here. Every time he mocked me, he was forging the steel in my spine. I built this life not because of him, but in spite of him. And that's the sweetest victory of all. What do you think? Was I too harsh on Mark? Or did he get what he deserved? Share your thoughts below.